Let me know when you're good, Corey. Good evening, everyone. We're going to resume the meeting. Please join us for the pledge. The back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, we're on item number 3 is correspondence. I don't think we have anything tonight. Moving to item number 4 is public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. We don't have anyone signed up. Moving to number 5 is presentations, and we have 4 presentations tonight, and the first one is 5A, is the FBLA presentation. Please step up to the microphone. Or push the button. Talk.
Okay, thank you all for being here, first of all, and thank you for allowing us to go on this trip. We had a lot of fun, so we're just going to tell you a little bit about it. Oh, nope. Okay. Okay, so the first day was just a travel day, kind of, getting on the plane, going through the airport, getting to our hotel, stuff like that. Here's some pictures. Okay, we had three first time. Sorry, we had three first-time flyers, Haley, Nathan, and Ronan. So Haley is going to talk a little bit about her first time flying.
Okay. It was a little scary, but for the first time, 5 hours for a flight was a lot. For me personally, the landing was definitely the worst. But overall, I think it was a really great experience.
Okay. So day 2, we went to the Phoenix Zoo, and we were there for a good part of the day. We had lunch there, and we just got to kind of, experience all the animals. So Chris is gonna talk more about it.
Okay, hello. So, obviously, to start off our FBLA trip after a very stressful airport, we decided to go to the Phoenix Zoo. It was amazing, a great team building event. We got to see a bunch of cool animals, giraffes, zebras. My first time at a zoo, so it was amazing. And it was great to go through all the gift shops and really connect with all my FBLA students.
Okay. And that's another picture of all of us. Okay, Mason's gonna talk about our first networking event.
After a good day at the zoo, we had a great night with the FBLA provided where we got to participate with peers and learn how to meet each other, greet each other when in a new environment. And they did this by doing a Willy Wonka night, which is like a game night. And they had us do different activities to earn candy and prizes. And these prizes we get to trade when we were in the convention the next day.
Okay, and that brings us to day 3, which was all of the workshops that we did. First was travel on a dime.
The workshop Travel on a Dime consisted of ways to travel on a budget and without trying to find ways that we can properly and reduce prices of planes and hotels and things like that. We found through this workshop that there are a variety of ways and like apps. The director of this workshop helped us find apps like Hopper that was safe to use and gave us good deals on flights. He explained that using Hopper, he was able to make a 12-day trip under $1,000, and this kind of helps future business leaders of America understand how to properly um, probably use them well.
The second workshop was representatives from Men's Warehouse. So we learned about interviews and like what attire to wear to them. Tips on how like public speaking and what to say during the interviews. Um, they also were pretty interactive. They brought people up from like the workshop and they gave them the options of like tying ties and showed them how, and then they also gave out ties.
That's just a picture of our formal business attire that we wore to the convention.
Hey guys, our third workshop was preparing for college, and we met a guy. He was a representative from Long Island University, and he taught us about how the college admissions process work and deadlines and necessary documents and differences between early decision. And he also taught us about athletics at different schools, which was great.
Okay, and then night 3, after all of our different workshops that we did, we went to dinner at this cool restaurant, and that's a picture of us there. And we went to a hypnotist show, which Daniel's going to tell us about.
Of course, you can't have a good business trip without having a little bit of fun. So for this, it was generously hosted by inside the conference center. We had this hypnotist guy. He was very charismatic. He told us about what hypnosis really was, and he selected a bunch of volunteers from the crowd, and he showed us how he would hypnotize people. One of the things he did was actually convince all the people that they were actually in a rock star band, which is pretty funny and entertaining. Overall, it was very great, very entertaining, and very good end to our night.
Okay, and then day 4 was just the closing session and traveling home. So for the closing session, they just kind of went over like an overview of what happened at the conference. They give out some awards for like people, like the most people from a state that visited the conference, which was Kentucky, which was kind of cool. And then we traveled home. We actually got through security surprisingly well because of like how many people were going home after this conference, but it was fun. And yeah. Okay, overall, it was very beneficial to us, and it taught us a lot of things that we need for the future, like how to shake hands, how to greet people, all of that kind of stuff. And it allowed us to connect with people from all over the country. We made a bunch of new friends who live in Kentucky. I met a girl who came from Vietnam just for the conference. So it was super cool seeing a bunch of new people and kind of talking with them. And obviously, we had a lot of fun doing it. So, yeah. Oh, that's it.
Thank you. Great job. Our next presentation is 5B, is the FFA presentation.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Whiteman, and we are the advisors for the Tri-Valley FFA for 2025-2026. We want to thank you for welcoming us here tonight and to meet with you. For those of you unfamiliar with FFA at Tri-Valley, we are an agricultural youth organization, and any member in an ag class is on our roster. I was not able to attend National FFA Convention and will be going out on maternity leave in January, but I have been fortunate enough to work with these students for the first half of the year and will help them prepare for these events.
Hi, I'm Julie Gonzalez. I'm a family consumer science teacher here at Tri-Valley, as well as the FCCLA advisor. And this year I was able to step into a new role as one of the FFA advisors as well. I was extremely lucky to be able to attend the National FFA Convention for the first time. It was truly an amazing experience, very eye-opening. To be able to see more than 73,000 members in attendance and in official dress was amazing. I wouldn't even believe it unless you saw it with your own eyes. And it was also fantastic to see the enthusiasm as well as the professionalism that the members had. And I'd like to welcome them to the podium.
Hello, my name is Emily Lusak, and I'm the chapter president. FFA is based on leadership, and our chapter is one of the top chapters for leadership in both New York and nationally. We have had great success at state convention in May, which allowed us to qualify for the national convention in October. These successes included wins in proficiency awards, agri-science fair, marketing plan, and 2 of the 3 areas for national chapter application. We also ranked 3 stars for our national chapter award, placing 2nd overall. Prior to the national convention, some of our applications were judged and ranked. As you can see, our members did very well, including a national 13th place for our first ever agri-science fair participant. Our national chapter application also placed 3 stars on the national level, which moved it on to further levels of national recognition.
Hello, I am Grace Dio, the chapter first vice president. On our way to National FFA Convention, we were fortunate to be able to tour a variety of different agriculturally relevant locations between New York and Indiana. These included Merle Maple Farm, Tom Ridge Environmental Center, the Groovies Plant Ranch, Jones Brothers Hemp, Beef and Vegetable Farm, Church Hills Down, and the Kentucky Derby Museum. These tours allowed us to see the scope of agriculture and potential careers related to the different areas in agriculture. Once we arrived in Indianapolis, we began competing immediately. My first activity with John Rose was the national chapter recognition. Our chapter was recognized as one of the top 100 chapters in the United States. As of October, there were 9,407 active members, and this number continues to climb. To save time, we provided a handout of these activities that our chapter has done since July. Some of these activities will be included in our 2026 application, but the handout helps to explain the scope of the application process. It's a long application, and chapters need to be well-rounded to meet all of the requirements. We are proud to have placed 3-star for the last 5 years and meet and exceed all of the requirements.
Good evening. My name is Sarai Mahalan, and I am the chapter treasurer. While at Nationals, Emily and I competed in the Premier Chapter Model of Innovation competition. This activity is broken into 3 groups: growing leaders, building communities, and strengthening agriculture. Just like the national chapter application is divided into. We were selected for the area of building communities for the work we have done with the barn quilt since May 2024. This includes when members help to make the barn quilts for retirees and for gifts, the displays we have made for different quilts, and the educational information we have presented about them. Emily Lusak and I developed a presentation to discuss the activities and presented before a panel of judges and an audience. Our chapter and the identified barn quilt project were also recognized on the main stage in front of over 40,000 people in attendance at Lucas Oil Stadium. You can easily see where we are since Miss B is behind us wearing red. While we did not win overall, to be top 10 out of over 9,000 chapters is pretty exciting.
While I was not a member of this team, I'm excited to tell you about how the marketing plan did at Nationals. This team selected a local business, Gramsci Gorilla, and developed a written market plan to promote the business. The portfolio included marketing strategies, SWOT analyses, short, mid, and long-term goals, evaluation criteria, and a mission statement, and both consumer and business analytics. They had 15 minutes to present their ideas to a panel of judges and then were seated for a question and answer portion if the judges were the owners of the gorilla and the team was working to convince them to hire the marketing firm. The team took first at states and placed top 16 silver on the national level. This is the first time that we had a New York team has made it to the semifinals in many years.
The final activity we competed in at the National FFA Convention was #SpeakAg Showcase video. My team consisted of myself, John Rose, and Zoe Sullivan, and we placed 8th overall for our video, and we were able to present on the Student Showcase stage as a top 10 finalist. This video was written and developed by my members of the chapter and utilized the theme of a barm quilt to represent information about agriculture in New York. We would like to show you the video to you now.
No, just our wrap. If you can get it going, we're just the end is. Thanks again for welcoming us tonight. I'm Tara Burke, so I've been the FFA advisor here for the last 26 years. It's always a pleasure to let kids promote our chapter and tell you what we're up to. We stay busy and we like to be busy. It's a greater pleasure to be able to work with awesome people and awesome students that I get to work with. So that's what makes my job fun after so many years. They're what makes our chapters okay. They're what make our chapters strong and relevant. So thanks for letting us come tonight. We'll figure out how to show you the video, but it's a minute and a half. So, do you have any questions for us that we can answer about nationals or anything?
I'd just like to say I'm extremely proud of the FFA program at Tri-Valley. It's always been a strong program here, right from its existence. I used to be a member of that. I remember it very well, and it has certainly grown from there. We should be very proud of the students we have and also of the advisors we have. So please keep it going for the next 100 years.
We are celebrating our 75th anniversary this year, and we are going to have a big party on June 6th at the fairgrounds. So it's a Saturday. We'll get you all invitations, but we have planned that, or the date at least so far.
It's interesting you mention that because this school will be 75 years as well in 26.
Yep.
So
we're a year older than the school, which is a weird thing.
Yes.
We actually started in the one room schoolhouse.
And we're going with the graduating class, of course.
But thank you. If do any other questions that we can answer. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
And before the FBLA leads, Dress for Success really does go a long ways before a prospective employer. So please, that impresses me. And unfortunately, that's not too much the norm today, but please carry it on and be proud of yourself. Thank you.
Okay, our next item is 5C, Scholar Athlete Presentations.
All right, good evening, everyone. If all of my Scholar athletes could please line up kind of behind Andrew Kelly. So while they're lining up, this year we had 57 Scholar athletes across our teams. So a fantastic job by all of our athletes this year. Our teams, so 75% of the team having a 90 or greater average. We had boys and girls cross country, boys and girls soccer, and our game day cheer program. So all of those teams again had 75% of their roster or more. We had quite a few with more, which makes my job easier when I'm doing the math. So we had a really, really great season on the fields, but also in the classroom. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to switch it up a little bit from previous ones. Our scholar athletes are going to come up. They're going to announce their name, and I have their scholar athlete pins that they'll receive.
My name is Andrew Kelly.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel Bashir.
My name is Nathan Clausen. I was a varsity football player.
My name is Tim Lazurka.
Mason Delaguaja, boys varsity soccer.
My name is Savannah Shabodi, and I was a girls varsity soccer player.
My name is Grace Steele, and I was a varsity soccer player.
Hello, my name is Emily Lusak, and I played girls varsity soccer.
My name is John Botsford, and I played boys varsity cross country.
My name is Dave Furman. I played boys varsity soccer.
My name is Christopher Parkin, and I also played varsity soccer.
My name is Lorenzo Hafner. I was on the boys cross country team.
My name's Mia Murphy, and I was on girls varsity cross country.
I'm Peyton Clausen. I was on girls varsity soccer.
My name is Tia Valkenberg, and I did girls varsity soccer.
My name is Zoe Sullivan, and I was on girls varsity cross country.
My name is Sophia Horton, and I played girls varsity soccer.
My name is Bria Shealy, and I played girls varsity soccer.
My name was Kellen Williams, and I played boys varsity soccer.
My name is Logan Wine, and I played boys varsity soccer.
Good evening. My name is Junior Ochoa Jimenez, and I played for the varsity football team.
My name is Luis Tula Jimenez, and I was a varsity football cheerleader.
My name is Connor Mendez, and I played on boys varsity soccer.
So I know I say this often, but these athletes here do a great job of finding balance, from the classroom and family time and travel and practice and games and everything else that life throws our way. And they battle through it. They have exceptional grades and have done an exceptional job in the fall season. And we look forward to seeing them on the list again in the winter and what they do in the winter season. Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Our next presentation is 5D, administrative presentations.
Good evening. I'm filling in for Mr. Snyder tonight. So I just wanted to update you, our STEAM session 1 Just ended. We had 128 elementary students, grades 1 through 6, who participated. Hopefully in front of you, you saw the first edition of our newspaper for the 25-26 school year on the gray paper. And when you walked in, hopefully you smelled some basil, which we have for you to take on your way out, that the students grew in the STEAM hydroponics club that we had after school. The second STEAM session will begin the week of January 26th. Any students who did not get to participate in session 1 will have the opportunity to participate in session 2, so that all of our students will have had an opportunity throughout the year. In terms of curriculum updates, we have launched a pilot program in Algebra 2 using the ALEX program, which is a personalized self-paced learning platform that aligns Algebra 2 with trigonometry. The program begins with a diagnostic assessment that identifies students' current level of understanding and then places them on an individualized learning pathway designed to build conceptual knowledge and their skills over time. As students complete the lessons, they continue to progress at their own pace. We are currently exploring the possibility of students completing the self-paced portion a little early in about mid-April to allow them to get some early exposure to the pre-calculus concepts that they can have towards the end of the year. ALEX supports a wide range of learners by providing targeted instruction for students who need reinforcement, while also offering meaningful challenge and acceleration for our higher performing students. In addition to strengthening our academic pathways, we are also intentionally focusing on leadership development and the skills outlined in the Portrait of a Graduate. So to support this work, our high school students, teachers, and administrators recently participated in a Leader in Me micro-credential training. Leader in Me provides a framework that emphasizes leadership, collaboration, and goal setting, all of which align with the New York State's Portrait of a Grad. Following the training session, Mr. Snyder worked closely with some of the facilitators to engage in some additional advisory conversations, including discussions around potential placement on the state list. This next step positions the district to continue to explore this work more deeply while aligning with the state level initiatives and best practices. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so if you don't understand me, just let me know. This past month, we were selected by New York State Department of Health to participate in an immunization audit. I would like to report out that we received 100% compliance on all of our record keeping and our procedures that the nurses use to ensure that all the students are immunized and they have the proper immunizations as they go through the grade levels at school. And the second thing I would like to report out on is right now we are currently reviewing all of our special education data for our verification reports. Those reports are due up to the state on January 20th. So we just verified everything within our office. Any glitches or student data that need to be corrected to get to level 0 has been uploaded. Once that rolls over, we'll be able to submit all the data to the state. So we are looking good in that area as well. With the immunization, I would like to thank the nurses. They did a spectacular job making sure that everything is up to par and everything is in place. Happy holidays, everyone, unless you have any questions. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right, good evening, everyone. So as part of the professional learning community continues their work throughout the school year, we have had the opportunity to have the first weekend each month where we're focusing strictly on social emotional learning for our students. With those professional learning communities, I specifically have been tasked with addressing some of that learning for the secondary school staff. We've had some very productive conversations. We've had the opportunity to have teachers discuss some concerns that they have for particular students. And in that process, we've been able to identify some what we're calling unwanted behaviors and develop some solutions for those teachers to be able to try to mold some of those behaviors that might be impacting the students being able to really grow in the coursework that they're assigned for that period. So I'm excited to be able to continue that work as we continue with our professional learning. As far as our MTSS intervention team meetings, Those continue to be utilized by our staff that is going K to 12. So I'm excited that that is being used as a resource. Currently, we have elementary active 14 students, and in the secondary school, 8 active students, and that continues to grow. Today, I had 3 new requests for assistance forms, so those meetings will be scheduled as soon as we come back for our new calendar year. And finally, our communication, our community relations. So we do have a plan for a winter bear bash. As much as we dreamt of being able to do something outside, certainly that comes with a lot of planning and accessories such as snow fun stuff. So in lieu of doing anything outside, we plan on doing a winter bear bash inside this year. We are in the planning stages. We've been able to narrow down a date, and that will be February 3rd with a snow date of February 5th. Ms. Hugler's been excellent in trying to help coordinate that. I call her the party planner. That's just not my expertise. So I'd like to thank Ms. Hugler. And also some of that work is reflected in the Sullivan County Food Pantry's active list. So we were really focused on being sure that we were able to filter through some of the community support that's out there and be sure that the contact information that we have was active and that those pantries were actually live and operating. So one of the things that Ms. Hugler was tasked with and was able to get us an active list of different food pantries throughout the county. And that did go out via Parent Square just in time for that Thanksgiving holiday break. That is active on Parent Square. We have it that was distributed throughout all the parent-teacher conferences so that at least our families who may need the extra support, especially as the next holiday season is upon us, they'll have some resources that they can access. But we want to make sure that all the community resources out there are ones that when somebody makes that call, that there's actually somebody on the other end to be able to support families that may be in need. And just to touch a little bit more, what's not on the slide that has happened since the production of this, a couple of thank yous. So with the holidays upon us, there have been some very gracious donations provided. With each of these donations that were provided, personalized letters were sent thanking these community partners. So I'd just like to recognize them. Miss Egan, Leonore Egan, one of our active substitutes here in the district, and her congregation. They provided some food baskets to our families that were able to be provided to some of our families that needed a little extra help during the Thanksgiving season. Miss Katie Taylor in Frost Valley, they donated some toys that will be able to help some of our students have a brighter holiday season. We have Miss Kate McCulick and the Ellenville Elks Lodge. They're donating approximately 20 food baskets to be able to go home with families for this 2-week break, which is a pretty long one for some of our students. And finally, Miss Petite. So Miss Petite has really been an active member of our MTSS department, and certainly the students are familiar with her being in there to support when I'm not available. And with all of the students that visit the office, we were able to start that CDOS connection with some of our mascots. So Ms. Petite and the support of our iReady representatives, and remember iReady is our screener that the students take in the elementary school, at least K to 8. And there's a character there named Plory. You may have seen him on our website. He's got a big head, kind of looks like an alien, but the students are very familiar with who Plory is. And so with the information that Ms. Petite had and with our representative from iReady, we were actually donated a Plory mascot costume that came today. It will be in front of the board to accept that donation. But the student who is the active person within that Plory costume was able to see that he's got his own personalized one that came today. So, you know, one of our elementary students happened to notice it in the box today, and he was quickly able to identify who the character was and how it was connected to his iReady assessment. And that's really what we want to do, especially with January coming back around and that iReady assessment that will be administered again to the elementary school students. It builds some excitement for what is typically just traditional testing. So lots of collaboration, and certainly it takes all of us in order to make the school operate. And I really want to just thank all of our community partners. They think about us, they think about our Tri-Valley students, and I appreciate them, and certainly I'm being sure that they are being thanked accordingly. Any questions?
You were a major player in establishing the attendance policy. How is that working out with our students compared to last semester, this semester, and how's it working out?
So the last time that we actually addressed it in our presentation, we were certainly trending higher than we had last time that we presented, that being this time of year, last school year. So we're continuing to trend that way. We still have our specific students, our tier 3 students, who continue to unfortunately have these be the ones that really have the most traction of attendance issues. But we're continuing to try to bear down and discover what is ultimately the issue there. But overall, I'd have to say that our attendance is trending the way that we want it to. Will we meet all of our goals by June? Hopefully so, but it is an ongoing conversation. Every 2 weeks, there is an attendance meeting that I host with the elementary school administration who come in and the secondary school administration that comes in, and we review all of the students, lists of students that are accruing any absences. And there are notes taken, and it's an opportunity for all of us to share information about why that student may be absent. And after the meeting, there's a follow-up that takes place. We just had a meeting, gosh, I think it was Tuesday, it's been a long week. And we were able to have these conversations with the building administration. And again, from there, I can follow up on anything that may be red flagged. One example is we have a student in the elementary school who continues to accrue absences. With that, in speaking with his parents, I was able to discover he has an underlying medical issue. And that then gives us the opportunity to refer him to either more medical support or an opportunity to get him some extra support as far as maybe a Section 504 accommodation plan. So we are definitely addressing things now that unfortunately may have gone unnoticed or unrecognized or just unknown beforehand. We'll continue to study it.
Thank you. I think it's a good program. If they're not in school, they're not going to learn.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to present on some things that are happening in our secondary world. We had our honor roll breakfast recently where we had celebrated 244 students for Q1, off to an amazing start. That's about 64 of our percentage of our population in that secondary school. So that's amazing that over half of our students reach an honor roll list. Our PLC update, we are continuing our work within our communities and our academics. We are doing a deeper dive on our priority standards to ensure our instruction is focused on the most essential skills and knowledge students need to master their criteria and curriculum at each grade level. We also hosted, Ms. Petit had talked about this a little bit, a leadership advisory panel in connection with the New York State Portrait of a Graduate. We're having continuous conversations with this, and we are watching the state as it unfolds their next pieces of how we are going to roll out all of the steps in line with graduation and how New York State will handle those. Within that advisory panel, we had students, teachers, administrators who all met, and we worked with Leader and me to recognize some of those areas and how we can highlight that. I want to give a huge shout out. We had 3 student participants, Jan Zulazowski, Christopher Prasalis, and Juliana Adams, who were an active role in that day and really spent their entire day, with their teachers and their administrators, who I'm sure we are their absolute favorite, and really took in all of this information and gave us a lot of insight. So that was really awesome to see them participating actively in that. We had a ribbon cutting recently for our greenhouse grant that we received from Assemblyman Brian Mayer's office and help that replaced our siding and our roofing on our greenhouse, which was much needed and a huge part of a lot of our curriculum pieces, especially in our FFA world and our agricultural programs. So that was amazing to see and to be celebrated. And just piggybacking kind of off of our FFA presentation and how amazing our program is here, looking at 75 years, we have multiple people, which is a huge testament to our programming, reach out in other school districts that come and visit us and learn more about our programs and how they can start. So I just want to give a huge shout out to that we're really recognized throughout the county and Ulster County for what we offer here at our school. So that's really awesome to see. Upcoming, we continue with some college field trips as well as people and recruiters coming to our school. Recently, we have traveled to Marist and SUNY Sullivan for a college fair. We are also heading to Albany and New Paltz in the future. So those are some awesome trips that are being hosted by our guidance department and really give a great opportunity for our students. We have academic support that is happening after school, along with peer tutoring through National Honor Society, which are, again, some great resources for after-school help for our students who need that extra boost and extra support outside of our school day. We also have our January regions coming up. Our 9 through 12 will be closed during that time. That is January 20th through the 23rd. That is on our district calendar. During that time, we'll be hosting our January regions as well as some midterms for certain classes. So all of that scheduling is available on our website and will be also mailed home to each student that will be participating in that. Graduate panel, we will be hosting a graduate panel on the 14th. We have at least 6, possibly 7. I didn't really want to say that out loud, but coming in of past graduates, and our 11th and 12th graders will be participating in that assembly. They'll be asking questions. We will have prepared questions and then as well as an open forum so they can ask away on their experiences, what's going on, and give some feedback to our current students. So that's exciting coming up. And we are also preparing and working on an elective fair. This is to really get our kids involved. We're seeing our numbers kind of decrease in some of our electives, and we offer a lot in our school. And sometimes that happens when we don't really know what's out there. So we're really going to showcase those for our students and have them participate in a day where they can go around, get some information, and really see what we have to offer on a hands-on day. So we're working on planning that, and that will be at the end of January. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Last month, we came back from Thanksgiving and we recognized 78 of our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders for their high honor roll principals list. That is about 45% of our student body for those 3 grades. We also held our Bear Awards, our attendance awards. This was the first year that I've been here, the second year since I've been here, that we've given the attendance awards for students who had a 95% or higher attendance rate throughout the first quarter of the school year. We had 277 attendance awards, which is fantastic. Kids were very excited to get it. If they didn't get a Bear Award, they had the attendance award that was right there that was possible for them to get, and we had a lot of students get those awards. As we were wrapping up December, we did host, student council hosted their first sneaker night of the year, which was well attended. We had almost 100 students in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade come to sneaker night. We had great chaperones, we had staff, we had parents. The kids had a great time dancing, playing kickball in a gym with the ceiling that supported that, which was fantastic, so thank you for that. And as it wrapped up, everybody was out of here by about 7:15. So we lost one of our solid chaperones last year. Her student went up into 7th grade, so getting the parents all lined up and getting the students to the right parents took a little bit of work, but everybody did a great job chipping in together, so thank you for that. We're wrapping up with a lot of holiday and festival themed stuff going on in the elementary school. Doors are decorated, they look great. We had a Name That Tune Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays throughout December to kind of help people get through the month because it can be a pretty long December. And we're kicking off January with our iReady diagnostic. When we come back, we'll give about a week or so to get everybody back into the group school before we do the diagnostic. And we'll start collecting some more data to shift around some of our AIS classes. And once January comes, the winter settled in, so we'll be making sure that our kids are getting everything that they need before they get up to their state assessments this spring. Our PLCs are working well. We're going to drive through that in January as well with our priority standards and looking at some data for those groups of teachers. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to item number 6. Oh, Kevin, you got something? Okay, sorry, Kevin. Yeah.
All right. Good evening again. So really quick, before we get to the really fun stuff, I just threw up the winter participation numbers. So we have 9 varsity teams, 2 of them merged, and 4 modified teams. We have 164 athletes total. Really great turnout, especially at the modified level. So the boys modified team has a large number of athletes, which is amazing to see. We did not have a JV team this year, but with the numbers on modified, I believe next year we'll be back to 3 levels at that program. Obviously it snowed a couple times. So our ski team is happy. They're getting ready to head over to the hill here soon. It's caused for a lot of reschedules already, but everybody's excited to see what this winter season has. A few things from our past fall season. So our boys cross country team were Section 9 champions, and then there's a long, long list for the girls cross country team. So they were OCIA league champions, they were Section 9 champions, and then obviously the best part, they're state champions. And within that, we also had Anna Furman, who is back-to-back individual state champion, 4-time section champion, and 2-time OCIA league champion. So a lot of great things happening from last season, and we look forward to where this winter season takes us. In the back, I know they don't want me to shout them out, but we have our cross-country coaches back there. So fantastic job by coaches and those teams. Any questions? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, moving to item number 6 is the superintendent's report from Ms. Erin Wong.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know how I can beat anything that's just happened. Just fantastic presentations from everyone today. I do want to reiterate what Danny had to say and thank our school nurses and Danny and Amanda Eberly for their meticulous record keeping with our immunizations. The county or the state will let us know about a day in advance they're coming in. And so we just have to trust and ensure that we are ready to go. And they do a fantastic job of keeping our kids as healthy as possible and taking care of all of us each day. Something that the board has in front of them tonight is a packet with information about tax exemption status for veterans. We have had a community veteran come forward and request that we review our school board policy with regards to adding a Cold War veteran exemption to our current policy. The Cold War exemption lists anyone that served our country from 1941 to 1991. So in your series of documents, you're going to see some previous communications between the town of Neversink and then Tri-Valley Central School from 2017, and then board minutes where the town of Neversink approved that exemption in 2018. Also, you have our current board policy and then some language from the state on the tax and financial taxation so that you can take a look at what that Cold War exemption is and means. What I'm working on right now is gathering all the numbers from Sullivan and Ulster County of our veterans so that we can put together an accurate picture for the board about our residents that could qualify for that and look at that impact and what would have on the non-exempt taxpayers and then move forward with some decisions around that. I have left some messages today for Steve Walsh, who is the Veterans Service Agency Director, to see if he would come to us up to the January 22nd board meeting to also be available for questions and to talk with us. So I would ask you in the next couple of weeks to go through all of that while I put together the numbers, and then we can come back together as a board and make a decision on possibly looking at that policy amendment. Really cool for me, I was invited a couple weeks ago to be a part of a New York State athletic advisory team. There are 13 superintendents around the state, and we were charged to talk to our sections to look at the postseason play with parochial and private schools versus charter and public schools. And a lot of the questions come around competition equity and looking at that balance and the student experience. And really for us here at Section 9, it impacts us when we get to postseason play. So I'll give you a quick example. So last year, our girls varsity basketball team wins sectionals, and we are on top of the world, and we're heading over to the Mount, and we're going to play a Montessori school from the city. And so that was a different experience for us because the girls from the Montessori school are in a private school, often on a scholarship, often play travel ball, and just have the resources and the capability to have more opportunities than students in public schools. And so that is a question that is surfacing around the state. Today, I had the opportunity to sit in on a Zoom with our commissioner and our superintendent group and share our experiences from each section. I did a survey with our superintendents and got their feedback. And again, for Section 9, the postseason play is great when it stays in Section 9. It's fairly competitive. It's when you get to regional play and state level competition, and are we really providing our kids a fair and equitable experience when you get to those levels of competition? So Robert Zahas, who is the director of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, was also in the meeting. And he offered some insight to some changes that are going to happen in the fall so that when we do get to that level of sectional play or post-sectional play, there are some safety nets put in place so that we may not necessarily see a private school from a different region that just comes with more resources and, just we want it to be fair and equitable. And most importantly, we want that next level of experience to be really positive for the kids. We received a FOIL on November 24th from the GovGuide team and a request for the request for proposals from the architectural and engineering services. Also, the top 3 scoring submitted proposals, the scoring and evaluation sheets, and then the awarded contract. So we currently have a draft of a contract from Land Architects. It's in the lawyer's hands. We're taking a peek at it. We're not ready to present that yet. We're still working to that. I do want to remind the board that we have a board retreat scheduled for 5:45 to 6:45 on January 22nd prior to our 7 p.m. meeting. I will share some thoughts in my update about some possible topics. I also want to remind you that tomorrow we have 2 of our musical groups, 2 of our bands performing at the Government Center at 11:30 in the morning. We have a lot of students going. It should be pretty fun. Looking forward to it. And then a nice lunch for our performers afterwards. I do also want to say thank you to Keith Stryker for his service and dedication to our school and to our board and to our community. You have led our board for the last 4 years. Your guidance has been invaluable, and it's been an honor for me to work alongside you as we have continued to bring positive growth and opportunities to Tri-Valley. Finally, I want to wish our board, our students, our staff, and our community a wonderful holiday and a happy new year.
Thank you. Moving to item number 7, items the board would like pulled from tonight's agenda. Anybody? Okay, moving to item number 8 is the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the entire consent agenda? Motion by Jerry, second by Nicole. Please proceed to vote. We're going to have to vote by hand, okay? All in favor, please raise your hand. That is unanimous, thank you. Be resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the entire consent agenda, categories 9 through 13.
At this time, I would love to have Shayna Gore stand up with us. Shayna, thank you for coming tonight. You may know Shayna as Shayna Greenspan. She is a 2010 graduate of Tri-Valley and is joining our team as a long-term sub lead replacement. So Shayna, welcome to Tri-Valley. We are awful excited to have you. And thanks for coming tonight.
Okay, moving to item number 14 is old business. We don't have anything tonight. And moving to item number 15 is public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. Do we have someone? You may have to push the button to activate the.
How you doing? I'm Stephen Walsh, Director of Veteran Services. Thank you for addressing that at the January 27th meeting. I can give you some information about it, but before I do that, I just wanted to say something to this board, to the entire faculty and the students of this school. I have never received a warmer welcome home, better treatment from anyone, anywhere, for my travels in the military. And I wanted to thank you very much for that. I enjoy the ceremonies, your Veterans Day, your Field of Flags. I love to participate, and it's appreciated. There are a lot of veterans in the audience here tonight, and there are veterans on your faculty, and I get to see them on a daily basis, and I really appreciate the warm welcome and the treatment. There we go. Okay, thank you. As far as the Cold War exemption goes, the most of the Cold War veterans from March 12th, 1947 to 1991 are already enjoying the exemption for this school district under the alternative. Many are suffering from service-connected disabilities. So what's left of that demographic are only the Cold War veterans that were not injured during their service, and that's a very, very small number that we know of. According to the federal numbers and the New York State Census data, we're serving just under 4,000 veterans in the entire county of Sullivan. As far as Cold War numbers, because that era started in 1947, due to advanced age, illness, and disease, and other service-connected injuries, the majority of that demographic have passed away. There are very few remaining that would be eligible under just the Cold War exemption. It would, however, cover their surviving spouses of record, and that would only cover their primary residence. And the majority of our surviving Cold War veterans, their primary residence is usually Florida or down south in a warmer climate. And the homes that they maintain here are now considered their secondary dwelling, and they would not be eligible for the benefit. So once again, it's only extended to the primary residence and or the surviving spouse. And it's our smallest demographic in the county. It would definitely have a very, very small impact on the taxpayer. But I will work with this board to get its most accurate numbers as I can. Thank you, and thank you for welcoming us here.
Why were you, excuse me, why were they left out initially? What was the criteria, the difference?
I really don't, well, Cold War is something that's very misunderstood. I am technically covered under the alternative because of my service-connected injuries. But I am a Cold War veteran as well. And if I were not injured in service and compensated for injuries, I would only be eligible for the Cold War exemption. And these are veterans that served during that specific time period from March 12, 1947 to December 26, 1991. So it's a little bit deceiving because most of those veterans that served at that later date are already enjoying this under, some of them served in Grenada, some of them served in Bosnia, not necessarily a combat role per se, but they served worldwide. And Cold War have the least benefits extended by the VA and federal government unless they were injured. So very few of our Cold War veterans remain eligible under just that premise. I only know of one or two here with me tonight that are covered only under Cold War and not already covered by alternative or what we call eligible funds. I was here for the original board meeting here in Tri-Valley when you adopted it. And it's just the way that New York law 458 A and B are worded. It's kind of buried in there that the Cold War exemption specifically would allow 10 to 15% reduction in assessed value on primary residence only. And the 10 to 15% cap is completely up to your discretion, not the state. So it would be the board's decision to say, okay, we're going to extend 10, or we're going to extend 15%. And that is only on primary residents. And unfortunately, it's our smallest demographic due to age. You know, a lot of our Cold War veterans served at the very tail end of World War II. And it's a very small number, the smallest number we have. Any other questions?
Thank you for explaining that. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. I would do it again, but after 20 deployments, I'm not allowed out of the house. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to
My name is Megan Missouric. I'm the parent of the kindergartner and a third grader at Tri Valley. On November 20th, my daughter came home and reported that she was a victim of assault. She didn't word it that way. This was during her PE class, and she is currently still experiencing the trauma from this event. It was fully investigated. I've spoken with the superintendent and with the elementary school administration. One of the things that I requested after this happened is that the camera footage from the gymnasium be reviewed. And I was told that there are no cameras in the gym. I am also a social worker. That's my profession. I've been doing it for 14 years. I am not understanding why in a high risk area like a gym, there are no cameras. I was told that it's because it's a teaching area, but a classroom is not allowed to have more than 36 students for New York State law at any time. And I was told that my daughter's class that day had 46. So if something happens in the gym or the cafeteria or the hallway, and these incidences of bullying happen, it would be so much easier to just pull up the camera footage and to see what happened or what did not happen instead of going off of he said, she said. I won't get into all the specifics of what happened, but I would just really like to urge the board to consider installing cameras in the elementary school gym and the high school gym, middle school gym. Mr. Dean spoke about attendance, bullying, and kids that are being harassed at school and experiencing violence at school. All of these statistics, they lead to lower attendance rates. They lead to children, you know, becoming bullies themselves and all kinds of issues with mental health and assorted other things as adults if it's not left, if it's left untreated. And I know that there have been other instances of bullying in the gym. I've spoken to other parents. A lot of them aren't going to get up in front of you and they're not going to advocate as strongly as I've been advocating for my child. So I would just urge you to consider installing these cameras in the high density areas like the playground and the gyms and the hallways and the cafeterias, just to have better coverage to protect the safety of our students here at Tri Valley.
Thank you for your comments.
Question.
Okay, moving to item number 16. We have 7 items here. The first one is 16A is the 2025 to 2026 budget calendar amendment. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2025 to 2026 budget calendar amendment?
Motion.
Motion by Rose. Second by Tammy. Any discussion?
I didn't get a copy of that. Could I have one?
Anyone else? Any discussion? Okay, please proceed to vote. I think we're up and running. Okay, we'll do it by hand. All in favor, please raise your hands. That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approve the amendment of the date of the December 2025 Board of Education meeting on the 2025 to 2026 budget calendar as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16B is the corrective action plan. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve the corrective action plan? Motion by Jerry. Second. Second by Tammy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? George? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approve the correction action plan pertaining to the July 1, 2024, June 30th, 2025 audit period as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16C is the election worker rate of pay. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the election worker rate of pay?
Motion.
Motion by George.
Second.
Second by Tammy. Any discussion?
What was it previously last year? I thought it was the same amount.
It is the same amount. So a few years ago, when we made the adjustment, we're going to raise it every 2 years. So we'll have one more year at 1850, and then we'll raise it for the following year.
Thank you.
I had a comment. A couple of election workers had mentioned to me that they were a little offended by what they were paid when they found out how much our event staff are paid. They do a job that's equally as important. They ensure that our election is fair and balanced. Our event staff ensure our safety and ensure that people are following rules at our events. So I would like to see it raised, maybe not to match it this year if we got a budget for it, but at least raise it halfway this year. But just comments that I had fielded. Food for thought.
Any other comments? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? So that is, George, you up? Pat, you're up? Any opposed? Two. Okay, be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education is hereby approved the rate of pay for 2025 to 2026 election workers to be set at $18.50 per hour. Moving to item number 16D is the memorandum of understanding for the Cyber Security Club. It is an action. And I have a motion to accept the memorandum of understanding Cyber Security Club. Motion by Tammy, second by Nicole. Any discussion?
I was just curious what a cybersecurity club will be doing.
Corey, do you think you have any insight to that?
So cybersecurity is not going away, and it's just going to get crazier and crazier. So one of Aaron's goals was to, he started last year with what he called the White Hat Hacking Club. So teaching them how to do things respectfully, the right way, so we also want to teach the kids to actually test our own network. We want to move forward to have them do some pen testing, stuff like that, and see if they can basically break stuff to try and fix stuff, if that makes sense. So, but teaching them to do it morally, ethically, the right way.
Very cool, thank you.
How many students are interested in participating?
Right now, probably 6, 7.
Good.
That was bad. Stop, Rose. I apologize, public. All right.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, Board of Education does hereby approve the memorandum of agreement between the Tri-Valley Central School District and the Tri-Valley Teachers Association as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16E is the SCAR, which is the Small Claims Assessment Review. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the SCAR, Small Claims Assessment Review? Motion by Rose. Second. Second by Nicole. Any discussion?
Explain exactly what that is.
So a taxpayer has the right to argue their assessment, and then it goes across to a county person who then makes the judgment whether they'll make a claim of the county says it's worth this, they'll ask for this, and the county hearing board will make a decision on what is the assessed value. And these two people, these two properties assessed, and they won in this case. One was more of a partial, and one was more almost a full.
What does that have to do with the school? If the equalization is done by the town?
So when these assessments happen after the tax roll, then they become our responsibility when these decisions are made. So we get the assessment rolls, we get the utilization rate, we tax them. If these happen after the fact, then they become our liability.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve adjustments to be made to the 2025-2026 tax roll year as detailed in the SCAR assessment review documents attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16F is the resolution of lodge. It is an action. I have a motion to approve the resolution of lodge. Motion by Jerry. Second. Second by Tammy. Any discussion?
I had a question. Since this is effective November 12th, why wasn't this on the November 13th meeting?
We had to have an appointment with the bank to make this happen, and we couldn't get Wayne Bank to meet with us until afterwards.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. George? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the addition of Samantha Dams as an approved and authorized signer on district bank accounts held at Wayne Bank effective November 12th, 2025. Moving to item number 16G, election of board president for the remainder of the 2025-2026 school year. It is an action. Can I have a motion to approve the election of the board president for the remainder of the school year, 2025-2026 school year? Motion by Nicole. Second by Tammy. I will pass around some ballots. Do we have a nomination? Anyone interested in this before we get started?
Running for president?
Yes. You nominating yourself?
Oh, you didn't ask for nominations. You just said we're going to pass that around. I didn't know what the process.
Why, I'm not going to pass it around if no one's interested. So you're interested?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Anybody else?
Normally, vice president.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Okay. You accept the nomination? Okay. So we have two people nominated. So I will pass out the ballots. Fill in the blanks. hold them up or whatever and bring them back. We'll log them in.
It's a secret ballot.
Okay, we have one for Tammy Chabody from Jerry Stevens. We have one for Tammy Chabody from Nicole Perkins. We have one for Tammy Chabody from Keith Stryker. We have one for George Dean from George Dean. We have one for George Dean from Pat Kelly. And we have one for Tammy Chabody from Tammy Chabody. And we have one from Tammy Chabody from Rosewood. Okay, so that is. Okay, so we have 6-2. Congratulations, Madam President. Oh, we have 2 people missing? Oh, what do I- 1, 2, you're right, 5, I'm sorry, 5-2. Okay, move. I don't. The election is over.
I'll wait till comments.
Okay, we're going to make a motion to accept the results of the election. All in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby nominates and elects Tammy Chabody to the position of Board of Education President for the remainder of the 2025 to 2026 school year. Moving to item number 17 is board comment session. Oh, Christopher?
Okay, there we go. So there's nothing new from the students, but I'd just like to congratulate Mr. Stryker on his new position and Mrs. Chabody as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got the pleasure of walking through the elementary school yesterday, and Mr. Carbone, you mentioned how the elementary doors are being decorated. I wanted to point out that one of the 5th grade teachers took this as an opportunity. I didn't get to see all of them, so there's probably more, but one of the 5th grade classrooms took this opportunity to add their subject into it, and it was about literature, and it was a snow globe setup, and it just struck me. It wasn't just, the kids were able to be creative, but they also incorporated what they're learning. So that was really awesome to see. I heard Sneaker Night went phenomenal. I heard the concerts the last 2 nights were wonderful. I was impressed. So thank you. There's great things that are happening in our district. I'm proud of it.
Eric?
Thank you to the students, advisors, and administrators on their presentations. Good luck, Keith, in your next chapter. Congrats, Tammy, and everybody have a happy holiday.
George?
Since we're doing the elections, probably it's a good time to do it now. This is my resignation of the Vice President of the school board. It says, please accept my resignation for the position of Vice President of the Tri-Valley School Board. I know who I am. I don't need another title by my name. And is effective tonight. So, and also I got, have a Merry Christmas. But since you're doing the election, it'll be a good time to do it now. And that's why I wanted to do it now. So please, we should do that.
Keith, enjoy the next chapter. You have a habit of retiring from things. First the police force, now this. Good luck in your new role. Tammy, good luck in your new role. I'm still recovering from my 2 years as board president. Just kidding. It's not really that bad. Good luck. If I can ever help you, let me know. Just a lot of positive things we heard about tonight. It's always nice to hear the student athletes, all the great trips they're going on. Kids get presented a lot of great opportunities here, so that's a great thing. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Just, everybody enjoy your break. Come back recharged for the new year.
Rose?
It is my absolute favorite when students come and do presentations. I really like to see them get up and speak. You can tell some of them don't enjoy public speaking, but that exposure, getting them to step out of their comfort zone and talk to us is just so wonderful and will help them in the future. So kudos to their advisors for making sure that they do that. Last night I had the pleasure to attend our concert and the students did a phenomenal job, but I just have to say I was disappointed that there seemed to be a number of parents who didn't give those students the respect to watch the full concert. Multiple parents got up and stood up in the middle of the band playing, leaving, and I thought that was extremely disrespectful. I hope in the future they'll have the respect to stay and enjoy the full concert because our students deserve that. What else? Keith, you have done an amazing job as president. I think you've set some great standards for us, and I wish you the best of luck in your new position. And Tammy, congratulations on being the next president. Good luck. And I hope everyone has a much deserved, well-rested break. You guys have done a phenomenal job getting us to this point, and you deserve the rest and relaxation. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you. Tammy?
Keith, I wish you the best as you begin your new chapter. I look forward to watching you develop in that role. It's a very serious role within our legal system, and I wish you all the best. To our students tonight on their presentations, thank you very much. It was very educational. I'm glad everybody is enjoying. The FBLA had an amazing trip, it looks like. I always enjoy watching the FFA and all their accomplishments, both locally and nationally. I think both are amazing programs, and I hope they continue for a long time to come. And I just want to wish the Tri-Valley community a very happy and safe holiday season and New Year.
Thank you. And I just want to, it was a pleasure working with everyone, and keep up the good work. Okay. And happy holidays to everyone. Can motion to adjourn? Motion by Nicole,
Second.
second by Rose. Please proceed to vote. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you for coming, everyone. Happy holidays. Board of Education adjourned at 8:36 p.m.